Gone are the Texas Rangers, and good riddance. In are the Minnesota Twins, who surprisingly still bring up the rear in the AL Central. The first-place Indians are in need of a win, and who better to have on the mound than Josh Tomlin, looking to become the first 8-game winner in the American League. Next on Sports Time Ohio. Another warm night in downtown Cleveland as the Indians continue this homestand, looking to get things turned around tonight. They welcome in the Minnesota Twins. Hi again, everyone. Matt Underwood alongside Rick Manning. Indians have dropped 4 straight. Minnesota has won 4 straight. Now, the Twins still have the worst record in the American League, but, Rick, they've beaten the Indians 7 straight dating back to last year.
I mean, when you look at it, they did to Kansas City what the Texas Rangers did to the Indians over the weekend. They went 4-0. They scored 26 runs, only allowing 6. Well, the Indians only scored 6 in that series against Texas. They're going to have to pick up the pace. There's a lot of guys that are having offers, and you've got to come back on. They've lost 6 straight at their ballpark where they once won 14 consecutive ball games.
Yeah, the Indians have scored just 3 runs in their last 34 innings, so that definitely needs to change tonight. And also, they're going to look for another strong outing from Josh Tomlin. Suddenly, this kid has really stepped into the role of the ace of the staff. Even though he doesn't have that title, that's the way he has pitched.
And that's tonight's pitching matchup brought to you by the Jeep brand. We don't just make SUVs, we make history. Scott Baker's going to be matched up against Josh Tomlin. Baker this year 2-4. He's got a pretty good ERA, 3.86. 0-2 last year, but 7-7 in his career against the Indians. And Josh Tomlin's got to come out and try and stop this streak. He's been one of the best pitchers the Indians have had this year. Why not stop it tonight? First time he has ever faced the Minnesota Twins. He did beat Toronto in his last start, but he did give up 6 earned runs.
And Manny Acta continues to tinker with the Tribe lineup to get the offense awakened. Grady Sizemore batting in the 3-hole for just the 10th time in his Major League career. We'll be back with all the play-by-play action coming up next right here on Sports Time Ohio. Texas Rangers here at home, and hoping that Josh Tomlin can change all that here this evening. Josh Tomlin taking the hill for the Tribe. Let's look at Ron Gardenhire's starting lineup tonight. In the 2-hole. Bernard's man, that's third. Michael Kadire, Justin Morneau, Delvin Young in the middle. Matt Tolbert, and Drew
Josh Tomlin making his 12th start this year. He's coming off a win against Toronto where he went 6-8 innings, 8 hits, gave up 6 runs. He did strike out 7. His record is 7-2 at 3.27 ERA. And Josh, first time he has ever faced the Minnesota Twins. But at home this year, this will be his 6th start. He is 4-0, 253 in this ballpark. So he pitches well. The Indians could use that and stop this 6-game Progressive Field losing streak. Let's take a look at the Indian defense brought to you by Pat O'Brien Chevrolet. First defendant defending our country, watching on the Armed Forces Network. Brand Van sideline center, Gene Wright, and a handoff as Rubo Orlando second,
Johnson at first, Alan Porter at second, Chris Conroy is at third. Cedarstrom, of course, is the crew chief. And there is Twins manager Ron Gardenhire, whose club expected by many to, if not win a Central Division, certainly contend for the division title. But it's been a strange year for Minnesota. They got off to a brutally slow start, and then the injuries started to mount up one by one. Circumstances bring the Reeds. Worst record, 21-37 tonight's game. Then Revere takes the first pitch strike and we're underway tonight. Here at Progressive Field. Warm evening, 83 degrees on game time temperature. Pitch is up high. The counter is at 1-1. Josh Tomlin quickly working.
Minnesota, they have won their last 4 on the road. This is their 8th game on the road trip. They swept out Detroit. They went in and swept the city.
Let's get a look at the injury report that we were talking about. Rather short, although a couple of key guys there, Alex Flood and Travis Astro on the field. For Minnesota, where do you start? So many big names for them. People will take that so many sports professional teams. Still losing their closers. Perkins and left-hand. Slowly going on. Yell and make a start tomorrow.
Batting third for Minnesota, number 2.
Minnesota is one of the only teams that broke spring training with nobody on the disabled list.
Isn't that strange?
That's how strange it is. You break camp and say, okay, let's get out of here healthy. You know, that's all a manager can ask.
Everybody says, just get through spring training healthy.
And what happens? The wheels fell off early.
So throw that out the window, right? From now on, don't even worry about getting hurt in spring training because what happened in Minnesota this year. But those are the things that why you can't prepare for them, plan for them. Just so much of it hinges on you. Just stay healthy. Like that for this career. But you just never know. Progressive Field. Just underway. Indians come to bat here, bottom of the first. Manny Actis starting 9, brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Proud to be the official auto insurance provider of the Cleveland Indians. Grady Sizemore in the 3-hole, only the 10th time that he's batted third in the Indians lineup in his major league career. We'll see how the shakeup works. Santana in the cleanup spot, Shoe down to the 5-hole. And that 6 through 9 spot, just 2 hits collectively in their last 3 games. Scott Baker, the right-hander for Minnesota, into the line, and he's up high with it, ball 1.
Well, these two pitchers are very similar. Scott Baker, a guy that's not overpowering, but he commands the baseball. He throws strikes and gets you to put the ball in play. He is making his 12th start this year, his 9th on the road.
Brantley hammers it into the right field area. This goes to the fence. Brantley on his way to second. He's in there easily with a leadoff double. Well, Michael Brantley, who came in with a .282 batting average, has now hit in 4 straight games for the Indians. And he is one guy, Rick, who, despite his youth and inexperience, has really been a consistently good hitter all season long.
He gets this fastball up, as you see it on the Time Warner Cable pitch tracker, and Michael jumps all over it. He has put up quality at-bats. He was one of the only guys that was able to do it yesterday. And, you know, he's consistent. That's why you like him in that leadoff spot. He gives you the start. You remember in Toronto when they had some offense, he gave him a start in every ball game there in the first inning. So that's double number 11 for Michael.
And now is Dribble Cabrera. Baker deals, and Cabrera drives it deep to right field. Rivera looking up. It is gone to Souvenir City as Dribble Cabrera stakes the Indians to a 2-0 lead. The Indians couldn't get the Texas Rangers out of town fast enough. Well, and the Minnesota Twins come to town, and what do you know, 2 batters into the game, they're up 2-0.
Well, this home run replay brought to you by Great Clips, great needs, great deeds, great clips. Boy, something that's been missing, and there's another pitch up in the strike zone, a fastball, and Cabrera knew it. As soon as he hit it, that ball out of here for Asdrubal, number 12. Give him 2 more ribbies, 42, and the Indians needed to take an early lead, and they do 2-0.
The Indians are 15-2 on the year when they score in the first inning. Now Grady Sizemore looks at a ball inside.
Well, the good thing about that, too, is with this Minnesota team, when the opponent scores first, they're 2-24. So on the other hand, you make them play catch-up, and the Indians are so good when they can get the lead early.
One pitch. Grady fouls it back out of play.
Yeah, we mentioned in the open, Minnesota has beaten the Indians their last 7 times they've played them, so they have a little payback.
Baker with a 1-2 pitch to Grady, and that's smashed into left center field. Delman Young cuts it off, and Grady with a single, and the Indians' first 3 have all reached here in inning number 1. All they need now is a triple, and they've hit for the cycle. 4 batters into the game.
Well, if we see that, then you know something really good is going to happen. There's another pitch out over the plate. Grady stayed on it, took it to left field. That ball had a little run to it, but it was upstairs. You know, Baker may be able to pitch upstairs. That's after he establishes down, but everything the Indians have hit so far, they have taken advantage of mistakes. 3 straight hits.
Baker delivers. It's up high to Carlos Santana. Santana has been showing signs of getting his game back on track offensively. Over the last month, he's hit at a .267 average with 6 multi-hit games. I guess the shame of it is, offensively at home, he's hit a lot of home runs, but hasn't hit for much of an average. It's really interesting when you look at his home-road splits from a productivity standpoint. Breaking ball just missed. I mean, Rick, he's had a dozen RBIs home and a dozen on the road. 5 of his homers have come at home, only 1 on the road. And yet his batting average at home just .207 while he's hit .250 away from Progressive
Well, that's
Field.
what you want to see go up. I'm not concerned about the home runs. I'd rather see his batting average go up, only because that means he's putting quality at-bats together. His home runs will come. He's going to be hitting in the middle part of that lineup. You want to see the RBIs go up, and you want to see him put some quality at-bats. He's done a good job as far as being patient and walking and taking the base on balls. And when you continue to do that, your hits are going to start to fall.
Almost hit him there. It's inside, full count. So Scott Baker really laboring here at the outset, and the Indians so far have taken full advantage. Leading it 2-0, looking for more with Santana at the plate thanks to Cabrera's 2-run homer. They have the early lead. Sizemore could be off and running on this 3-2 pitch.
Yeah, why not? Take off.
There he goes. And a liner to second, a double play.
That's a chance you take.
That's exactly right. And 2 down.
He hit it right on the nose. All right, let's take a look at the Home Depot Twins defense this evening. Young is in left, Span in center, Rivera in right. Hughes at third, Casilla at short, Tolbert at second, Kadire at first, Butera is behind the plate. More savings, more doing. That's the power of Home Depot. Well, this is a welcome sight, too, for the Indians because in that Texas series, they were 0 for 11 in the first inning.
Shin-Soo Choo with a drive to right field. Revere backpedaling makes the grab. And the inning is over. But Asdrubal Cabrera's 2-run homer has the Tribe on top, 2-0. Second inning here at Progressive Field, and Michael Kadire takes a first pitch strike from Josh Tomlin. Tomlin with a liner over the head of Cabrera. Chu, he'll cut that off in the gap, and Kadire holds with a leadoff single.
You know, when you've never faced Tomlin before and you go through and you look at video, you know, there's nothing wrong with getting aggressive. This one was a little cutter he leaves upstairs, and Kadire just goes the other way with it. But you know he's going to throw strikes from everything you read in the scouting reports, so there's nothing wrong with getting aggressive early in the count.
Inside corner, a called strike.
Some guys just like to look and see where they may pick up the arm slot from just to get a look. Never facing a guy before. Plus you get to see the velocity, at least if you get the first pitch fastball.
Morneau with a fly ball to right field, routine for Chu. One away, Kadire back to first. Here's our great clip of the game from yesterday, and while there wasn't a whole lot to be excited about for the Indians, Adam Everett getting the start at third base with terrific glove work defensively. Well, relax, you're at Great Clips.
You know, you look and say there wasn't a lot of action yesterday, but you still got to stay in the game. It was only a 2-0 game, and you had a chance to win it when you get an opportunity, you get a man aboard, but you got to hit.
Well, Talbot gave, 2 solo homers.
Well, the last 2 days. I mean, Carmona gave up the two run homers to make it 4-0, and then it was the 2 solo shots to make it 2-0. So not much you can do if you don't score.
Delman Young, as the throw to first, chases Kadire back to the bag, has really struggled this year for Minnesota. He was banged up early when we went to Minnesota.
Yeah, he was on the DL back then.
But just a .215 average. Look at the difference from a year ago. He had 32 runs batted in this time a year ago.
He was one of their best players. I mean, last year he was very good. He has 3 doubles this year and 144 at-bats, 1 homer. What a difference a year makes. But then again, he was hitting around Mauer. And, Morneau was there, up until, June?
Hit on the ground between third and short and a base hit on an 0-2 pitch for Delman Young. It looked like in his first 2 pitches he was trying to pull everything, just in a dead pull mode. And that pitch was up, and he was able to pull it.
You're going to see. That's not a very good 0-2 pitch. I know you want to throw strikes, but that ball didn't break enough. He chased a couple of breaking balls to fall behind in the count, and then that one was just like a little cutter that stayed right there.
And a fastball strike to Luke Hughes. Swung on and missed. And another 0-2 count. And the 2-strike pitch in the dirt gets away from Santana. The runners will both move up. So on the wild pitch, runners are at second and third.
That goes as a wild pitch, but I just want to check and see where that ball hit. I want to see what Santana did back there. If he just sort of nonchalantly threw the glove down. He didn't get that body in front of it to smother it. He went more of an arm and a glove than really putting the chest protector down in front. Maybe he thought he could catch it.
Tomlin with a 1-2 now. Chopped over toward the Indians' dugout. On the year, Minnesota, as a team, hitting .243 with runners in scoring position. One of the big reasons they were able to sweep Kansas City, they hit .283, 40 points higher than their season average against the Royals.
Well, that's when they were so good last year, and they score. They did very well with bases loaded, and they hit with runners on base. Minnesota's always been one of those teams that, boy, if they get the key hits, and they seem to do that. This year, total opposite. And they have to play a lot like the Indians played, little ball, or as Ozzie Guillen used to call it, piranha ball.
Yeah.
Get them on. You got to start runners. You got to do the little things right.
I go back, though, when that was popular, when that was going on with Minnesota and the piranha, or as Ozzie Guillen called it, the piranha ball. You still have to have the players, the type of players that can execute that scheme to make it work. Swung out and missed. Strikeout for Tomlin, 2 down. It would be nice if everybody who put on a baseball uniform could execute the hit and run, the bunt play. If everyone could do that, it'd probably be great. But it's just not the case in baseball, and there are some players who just can't play that style of ball.
Right. Well, no, you're right. But I think the kids that they call up from their farm system, they're taught the right way.
Their team, yes, I would agree with that.
You know what I mean? I mean, if these kids come up, they're up for a reason.
But there were people who said, why don't the Indians do more of that? And I'm sure there were other teams who wondered aloud about their own clubs. Well, you still have to have the types of players
that can put the ball in play for a hit and run. Yeah, not swing through it. Or put the bunt on, the ones that can put the ball down.
2 balls and no strikes for Matt Tolbert. Comes in hitting .202. Key early spot here for Josh Tomlin. His team just handed him a 2-0 lead. And with 2 down, runners at second and third for the Twins. 2-0 pitch. Laced into right field, a base hit. That's going to get 1 run home. Delman Young will try to score. Choose throw to the plate, and he's safe. Close play. But Santana apparently unable to get the tag on Young before his hand got the plate. And Minnesota comes right back, and with a 2-out, 2-run single, ties the game.
Yeah, not something Tomlin wanted to do. Let him strike right back. He got the strikeout. Watch the extra step. I think Chu had trouble getting this out of the glove. He gets it. And then maybe one too many as Young just gets in there. I'm talking about a half a step. He was loading it up. And there's the throw, and there's the slide. It just beat the throw. So we got a brand new ball game. 2-out base hit.
Swung on and missed. Drew Butera hitting just 144. 15 hits and 104 at bats on the year. Joe Mauer has played 9 games this year. Popped up behind the plate. Santana, we'll watch it go into the seats. Mauer has it's been such a mysterious ailment because, leg weakness, viral infection, it just not your typical, sprain or strain or whatever the normal baseball injuries are. That hasn't been the case for him. 2-strike pitch, bounced to short. As Drupal Cabrera throws him out to end the inning, but Minnesota comes back to tie it at 2. Well, Josh Tomlin, Carlos Santana, the Indians' battery tonight, had a chance to get out of that inning unscathed. But Matt Tolbert with the 2-out, 2-run single just pulled it perfectly between first and second to tie the game up. Indians go back to work at the plate now, and Matt Laporta takes a strike on the outside corner. Laporta, 8 homers, 27 driven in on the year with 10 doubles.
Now it's Baker's turn to go out there and try and settle down, because the first 3 hitters of the game reached base. And Santana hit the ball on the nose on a 3-2 pitch that was lined to second for a double play, and then Chu lined out to right. So there was not a soft out in that inning.
Upstairs, he chased, and the first strikeout for Baker is out number 1 here in the second. Tonight's trivia question is brought to you by AT&T. 3 pitchers have started 300 or more games for the Twins. You think 300 games, that's a lot of games. 30 starts a year for 10 years.
Yeah.
I'm going to think Brad Radke might be one. Did he pitch long enough to get 300? Be close.
I don't think he did. He was, I don't know. I don't think so.
Travis Buck, Indians DH tonight. Lines it to first, and that's the second line drive out the Indians have made here this evening, 2 down. Hits it right on the button, but Michael Kadire there to grab it.
Yeah, you keep swinging. They've been hitting the ball well. They'll start dropping. They put some good swings on him, something they haven't done over the weekend. You know, you're starting to make solid contact. That's a good start.
Orlando Cabrera looks at a strike over the outside part of the plate. Cabrera 0 for his last 13. Now Baker's 2-strike pitch. And a line drive base hit toward right center field for Orlando Cabrera. That's the way to stop your skid. He's aboard with 2 down here in the second inning.
Well, he put it on an 0-2 pitch. So now both pitchers have given up 0-2 hits. They're around the plate. So as a hitter, you got to be prepared. And that's probably too good of a pitch for Baker on an 0-2 count. Cabrera lined it into right center field.
And that leaves Orlando Cabrera now just 2 hits away from 2,000 in his career. Jack Hanahan steps in with 2 down and a runner at first. First pitch, bloop toward left center or left field. Casilla gives way to Young, and the inning is over. 2 complete. Indians 2, Twins 2. Back here, top of the third. Want to remind you to stay tuned later in the game to see our Miller Taste Greatness moment. Top of the order for Minnesota here in the third. Ben Revere, Alexi Casilla, and Denard Span. They went 1-2-3 in the first inning on 8 pitches collectively. And Revere looks at a first pitch strike from Josh Tomlin. A little bit inside to even the count. Chop toward second. Backhanded by Orlando Cabrera. And that's out number 1.
Well, head down to Progressive Field for lunch in 3 innings on Wednesday. You can get a ticket for the Tribe Twins game at $12.05 plus $10 to spend on food and drinks for just $15. Get your tickets now at Indians.com. That'll wrap up the homestand as well. Off day Thursday, then it's on to New York for a 4-gamer.
Don't see many of the wraparound series anymore. The Thursday, Friday, Saturday, or the Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday.
No.
But it seems like every time we have one, it's in New York. I don't know what it is.
Torture. That's what it is, especially with a Sunday day game and a Monday night game.
2-strike pitch, fouled back.
Sibes came in and was saying, oh,
Spoken
boy,
like a man
good.
who really does not love New York.
No, I don't mind New York. It's fun for me. First day when I was a rookie, we went in '75. We had a 4-game trip, but with an off day, 5 days. I was throwing up in the outfield by the end of that game. By the end of that trip,
some bad clams. That's what it was.
I was just, I took a bite out of the apple too much. Too big a bite when I was 20.
Spun him out of the way, 2-2. It's been known to do that to people.
It's done it to everybody. And if you say it hasn't, I'm going to call you a liar.
The 2-2. Right back to Tomlin. Easy play, 2 down.
No, actually, it's a fun place to go to. You go in there, you win. If they can win 3 out of 4, it'd be a great place to go to.
I'll tell you what, Rick. I mean, when I think about my time being associated with the club and doing the games, some of the most fun times I've had was when we were in New York in the playoffs. Because when you beat them in the playoffs, it's the best thing in the world.
Right.
Back in 2007,
it's like
of course
that
in '97.
any day.
Yeah. And we have had the pleasure of calling some historic beatdowns of the Yankees at the hands of the old Tribe. That game Jake Westbrook pitched back in '04 was incredibly memorable. The worst beating they ever took at home. And then when we opened the new stadium, pummeled them again.
Second wasn't that the second or third day? It was that Saturday.
Yeah. 22-4 that second game.
That's when we had a pretty good idea that the ball was going to carry in that ballpark.
2-1 pitch to Denard Span. In the air to center field. Grady Sizemore is backpedaling. He's got it. And another 1-2-3 inning for Josh Tomlin. Middle of the third, we're tied at 2. Now the Indians trying to get back in the win column here tonight. Tied at 2, bottom of the third, top of the order due up for Cleveland. Michael Brantley doubled and scored in the first and takes a strike. Tonight is the Major League Baseball draft. It is underway, and we are told the Indians are on the clock. Tribe, of course, has drafted Alex White and Drew Pomerantz, 2 college pitchers with their number 1 pick in each of the last 2 years. And a lot of the pre-draft publications have the Indians looking that way again. Brantley with a one-hop smash. It eats up Kadire. And Michael Brantley is 2 for 2. He's aboard to start the third with a solid single.
Well, he smoked that ball. Kadire over at first base, he gave it his best chance. That ball shot by him. Getting into right field. He comes back with another fastball. Michael Quick in there. He got a fastball to his liking his first at-bat, so he is now 2 for 2. And watch Kadire. Not much of a reaction time, boy. That's a do or die. See, I mean, he saw it off the bat. By the time you could get over there, you either flag it down and it hits your glove, or it's by you in a hurry.
Well, here is Asdrubal Cabrera. Launched a 2-run homer his first time up. Takes a pitch inside. Asdrubal with a dozen dingers on the year.
Yeah, coming into this year, most he hit was 6.
7 or 6, that's right.
Yeah. And he's shown great strength this year. I mean, where the ball just flies off his bat from both sides of the plate, not just one. I mean, he got a pitch to his liking, and he gave it a ride. And he didn't overswing. It was just a nice, well-balanced swing.
He's among the top 10 in the American League and runs batted in.
Yeah, and he's been hitting second all year. He's done a terrific job.
And he's 2 for 2 with a base hit into right field. Brantley hits the bag at second. He'll hold there. And the Indians have their first 2 on here in the third inning.
Well, the boys have set the table. There's no question about that the first 2 times up. Asdrubal goes down and gets one to his liking and lines it to right field. Six hits now for the Indians. 5 of them coming from the top 3 spots.
Grady Sizemore singled to the opposite field his first time up. Indians trying to come back and regain the lead. Pitch is down and in for ball 1. And Grady gets a piece. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Let's send out some birthday wishes. We'd like Vera Ryder of Cleveland turning 95 today. Vera, happy birthday. Wilda Cummings, 92 from Sebring, Ohio. Eric Kilburn of Woodfield, Ohio is 24. And Julie DiBiasio turning 24 today. Bobby's daughter. So
yeah,
Julie, happy
that doesn't
birthday
seem
to you.
Possible.
Yeah, I know
24?
it. 24.
Wow. The 1-1 pitch. A little bit low, 2 balls and a strike. Well, how about this number? In that 4-game series against Texas, the Indians' 1-2-3 hole hitters were 8 for 48. And they're 5 for 5 to start this game.
Well, keep it going.
That's the thing.
Keep it going in the series. They're off to a good start.
2-1 pitch to Sizemore. Grady with a drive to right field. Back goes Revere. He'll make the catch. Tagging and going to third is Michael Brantley. And the Indians have runners at the corners with one out.
Well, another ball hit well.
Tell you, Revere was trying to get his feet in position to make the catch and come forward and be able to throw. He almost backed up too far to the point where he had to come in a little harder than he really wanted to make the grab there.
Yeah, Michael was going to go to third anyway, so that out being productive, getting him to third base. You know, young kids get called up, come into a ballpark, a major league park their first time. It's a little different surroundings. You know, when you get the live game baseball at bats, you know, it's one thing for batting practice. Different once the game starts. Things seem to quicken up on you.
Carlos Santana swinging a foul tip. Santana hit the ball pretty hard his first time up, but he hit it right at the second baseman, Matt Tolbert. And the result of that line drive was a double play because Grady Sizemore was running. It was a 3-2 pitch back in that first inning. And as you pointed out, you know, that's the risk you take when you put the runner in motion on the 3-2 pitch.
Yeah.
In retrospect, what it did, it probably really helped Scott Baker settle down and get out of that inning because the first three had smashed the ball off of him.
Yeah, but on a 3-2 count, you already have a 2-0 lead. Nobody out. You're going for a big inning. You know, that's the chances you take.
In tight, 2 balls and a strike.
I'd say 95 times out of 100, most managers would do the same thing.
Oh, sure.
You know, especially when you got a guy that can run there.
It's just that as it turned out, it was probably a big boost for Baker.
Yeah.
Now the set on the 2-1. And Santana takes a strike to even the count. Next pitch will be number 40 for Baker. Go ahead run. Michael Brantley is at third with his Dribble Cabrera at first. And the 2-2 is popped up foul and over near the dugout. It hits on the top and bounces into the crowd.
One anniversary to take care of. John and Olga Zalina of Poland, Ohio, celebrating their 63rd wedding anniversary. Congratulations.
And we got some birthday wishes. Lou Hawk in Warren, Ohio, celebrating her 89th birthday. She's a big Grady Sizemore fan, and she's also just recently celebrated 16 years of being cancer-free. So, Lou, congratulations and happy birthday. Also, get well wishes to Ed Adams in Menor, Ohio. Ed, hope you're feeling better and on the mend. And happy birthday wishes tonight to Melvin Martin, celebrating number 86. Dorothy Nepper in Fremont, Ohio, celebrating her 81st. And also in Fremont, Ginny McCaffey, celebrating her 56th. The 2-2. Swung on and missed. Baker gets a huge strikeout there. His second of the night. And there are 2 down here in the third.
Elevated the fastball and got it above the hitting area. You see right there, and he swings through it. So a big strikeout for Baker to try and keep this 2-2 ball game, unless Shin-Soo Choo can do something with 2 outs.
Well, Choo lined out to right field his first time up. And a little topper foul, first base side. Michael Brantley started this inning with a base hit to right field, his second hit of the night, as Drupal Cabrera followed with his second hit. Then Sizemore fly to right. Santana struck out. And with 2 down, Shin-Soo Choo with a chance to give the Indians the lead back here. And now he's down on the count 0-2. Chu admitted recently that he's been a victim of thinking too much when he's at the plate. Lines it foul the other way.
Well, I think everybody goes through their times where, you're slumping, you have things go wrong, and you start worrying about everything but seeing the ball and hitting the ball. And sometimes you just have to go back to the basics, keep it as simple as possible. Because everybody cares. When you're out there, you hate going over 4, you're not doing your job. But sooner or later, something in that mind clicks, or something that you feel. And it's really a confident thing. And it's something that doesn't happen overnight when it comes to hitting, because it's tough enough to do to begin with. He'll get it back on track. You just hopefully sooner than later.
They can use a big knock from Chu right here. The 0-2 down in the dirt.
This is where you sometimes where Chu feels you have to do it. You have to get a hit. Here was a guy last year on a team that wasn't a good offensive team that would take the walk no matter what. So, that's a start, too. You can't try and do everything yourself. If they don't want to pitch to you, you got to take walks as well and move that train along and let somebody else do it.
Counts back to even now, 2-2.
You don't see him walking as much as he did last year, because now you want to get everything back in one swing. He's only walked 21 times in over 200 at-bats. That's not the Chu that we know. Where you look at Santana, who's walked 40 times in 179 at-bats, but of course that helps. When you get that walk, it doesn't count as a time up.
Inside, he missed, and the count is full.
There you go. He checked it.
Now the payoff pitch. Runner at first goes, and Chu strikes out. Third strikeout for Scott Baker, and the Indians strand a pair. 2-2 our score. Going to the fourth inning here at Progressive Field. Josh Tomlin has made 42 pitches. Over 75% of them have been strikes. And he watches Michael Kadire swing and miss. 11 first pitch strikes. And he's ahead 0-2.
Well, this is the part of the lineup that came back and got Josh in the second inning and was started by a base hit by Kadire.
Leaned him back, and that's a purpose pitch because in that first inning he took a ball away and shot it to right center, which
he did.
We've seen Kadire do a lot in his career.
First pitch of the at-bat. He got aggressive early. There you go.
Struck him out.
You
Second
say the
K for
purpose
Tomlin.
pitch, that's exactly what you mean. You show the hitter that you're not afraid to come inside. Then you throw him a little breaking ball away, and you get him to, you straighten him up a little bit, and now he's got to reach after that ball away.
Well, the Indians, for the first time in a decade, spend their first-round pick on a high school player, a 17-year-old infielder from down in Claremont, Florida. Francisco Lindor came to the United States when he was 12 years old from Puerto Rico, moving to the Orlando, Florida area. He's 5'11", 170 pounds.
So you know he's going to get bigger. 5'11", shortstop. Like it.
Yeah.
He's athletic.
Right back to the mound.
Just
Josh
like that.
Tomlin. Quick flip, 2 down. Again, it's interesting, too, the baseball draft compared to, say, the football draft. I mean, all the pre-draft publications and speculation. The draft can break so many different ways in baseball because you've got college players and high school players, and you just never really know what teams are going to do.
So many guys to pick from. You know, usually you see the young arms, the pitchers that'll go because they're studs, and a lot more of them are college kids now. But, yeah, that would be really tough to predict who's going to go where.
We are planning to hear from Brad Grant, Indians Director of Amateur Scouting, coming up later. At some point, we'll hope to hear from Brad during the game to get his thoughts on the Indians' pick of Francisco Lindor. Popped in the air. Shallow center. Cabrera out. Sizemore in. Grady makes the grab, and the Twins go 1-2-3 for the third time tonight. A warm June evening here in downtown Cleveland, tied at 2, bottom of the fourth inning. Matt Laporta to lead off, struck out his first time up And comes up empty on that first offering from Scott Baker. Baker has now struck out 3 and 2 big ones back-to-back to end the third inning when the Indians had 2 men on base. In fact, they had a runner at third. One of those runners was at third base when he got both Santana and Chu. 50 pitches so far for Baker. 34 of those have been strikes. Baker, like so many of the young pitchers under the tutelage of pitching coach Rick Anderson, a strike-throwing machine.
Well, that's how Minnesota, they've done it for years, Matt. They've gone out there. They don't walk guys. They're usually last in the league in walks. They may give up more hits than anybody, but they're not going to give free passes away. They pitch to contact, and they've done it for years. This year, the Indians they've walked the fewest guys.
Yes.
I mean, and it shows. They haven't given up more hits. And I'll tell you what, you trust your defense and you let things roll, and good things happen.
Yeah, because I was going to say, the Indians under Tim Belcher, I'm not saying they've taken a page from Anderson's book, because I don't think what he's doing in Minnesota is necessarily revolutionary, but the Indians have certainly followed Tim Belcher and Manny Acta's edict, which is first pitch strikes, get ahead in the count, go to work on hitters, and it usually leads to success.
Every pitching coach tries to teach that. It's a matter of getting guys that can do it, though. I don't know if you have the younger pitchers believing it, but once they do and they see results, boy, then they realize, hey, let's go. And if you get beat by getting hit, that's fine. It's the walks that kill you.
And the 2-2. Swung on and missed. Laporta strikes out again. 1 down here in the 4th. And let's look at our minor league report brought to you by Kia. Nick Weglars back in action. 1 for 4 with a couple of runs batted in. This is one of those guys you root for. He's so likable. He's doing everything he can, but it just seems like one piece of bad luck after another comes his way with regards to injuries. And you just like to see him be able to stay healthy for a full year. Get a chance to realize his full potential. Here's Travis Buck, who lined out to first base his first time up. Looks at a ball inside. Baker misses outside. It's 2-0. So many young pitchers, and this is why Josh Tomlin has been such a breath of fresh air, pitch away from contact when they get to the big leagues. It takes a while to develop the confidence to be able to throw it in the hitting zone.
Yeah, it does. It takes a couple of years for them to believe that you can get big league hitters out. And it's a game of adjustments. As how many times have we heard it? Trust your stuff. If you got good stuff, throw strikes. But when you get out there between the lines, or you get beat a couple times, or someone takes one of your good pitches out of the ballpark, you start maybe doubting yourself.
Staggers you a little bit. 2 down.
Well, fill the house for charity Wednesday. The Tribe will finish this series with the Minnesota Twins. It's a 12:05 start. And $1 from every ticket sold will be donated to the Berea Children's Home and Family Services. So get your tickets at Indians.com. And remember, buy your tickets in advance for great savings.
Orlando Cabrera singled to right center with 2 down in the second inning. And he lines one to right field here, but Revere makes the grab, and the Indians go 1-2-3 for the first time tonight. 4 complete. We're tied at 2. Bottom third of the Twins order due up here in the 5th inning. Luke Hughes, Matt Tolbert, and Drew Butera. Hughes struck out his first time up. And for one of the rare occasions tonight, Tomlin has fallen behind 2-0. Rope to left. Hughes racing around first. He'll go into second base standing with a leadoff double. 4th hit allowed by Tomlin tonight. First since the 2nd inning, and the first extra base hit of the night for Minnesota.
Well, it just came out of your mouth, 2-0 count, and he's going to go at him and challenge him, and that's what happens. You make those hitters that much better. Turns on the baseball, looking for the fastball, gets it, hits it past Michael Brantley in left field. So Minnesota coming back in the 5th with the leadoff double.
And a bunt play, but it's foul.
2 times today, Tomlin has had 2-0 counts. Minnesota 2 for 2.
Scoreboard update brought to you by your Northern Ohio Ford dealers and the all-new 2012 Ford Focus. Ford, drive one. Tolbert bunts this time. Tomlin throws to first, and he didn't get him, says first base umpire Adrian Johnson.
I thought he got him on the helmet. I guess he did, because it looked like Tomlin had just a little bit of trouble gripping the baseball. When he went to pick it up, I don't think he had it completely. He had to wait a second before he went. And here's little ball. They're going to just play it. And off comes Laporta, and no, he didn't get him. They're going to give him a base hit on this one.
So runners at first and third after the bunt single. And now Drew Butera, who grounded to short his first time up. Swung out and missed. Good breaking ball that time from Tomlin. Twins threatening to take the lead here in the 5th. Drew Butera, after grounding out his first time up, hitting a $143 on the year. And he bunts one toward first. Laporta, no play anywhere, spikes it into the ground, and the Twins take the lead.
Almost like a safety squeeze right there. And this little ball is paying dividends for him in this inning. Last time up in Laporta, here's what you call getting caught with not knowing what to do with the baseball. You know you're not going to have a chance. Nobody's at first base anyway. He wouldn't have been able to do anything. That little safety squeeze, there's the bunt. In comes Laporta. Tomlin's going over, but he had no chance. The run coming in. So it was really a heads-up play by the Twins. That'll go as a base hit.
3 straight hits to open the inning, and they lead it 3-2. And now a line drive to center field. Grady Sizemore will have to play it on a bounce, and the bases are loaded. Still nobody out. And now Alexi Casilla 0 for 2 coming to the plate.
Well, they better go over now, because you can see they have put 2 bunts down in the inning. Both of them have been successful. They're the kind of team that they have to do it against. They got to know what's going on. That's 4 straight hits now for the Twins. The leadoff double, a bunt base hit, a bunt base hit, and a line drive to center. Still nobody out. Twins lead at 3-2.
Ripped foul by inches. Woo. Alexi Casilla almost cleared the bases.
Yeah, it didn't miss by much. He's turning on the baseball, getting aggressive early, and Adrian Johnson right on it.
Tomlin's 0-1 pitch. Hit to second on one hop. Orlando to his dribble. Back to first. A double play. Twins get a run. They lead it now 4-2, but there are 2 down in the inning.
Well, you trade it. You get that double play. You give up the run, but you get the 2 outs. Now you got to come back and get this out. But he got him to hit it right at Orlando Cabrera, and they turn it.
It's called a ball, but it looked like a perfect pitch. Denard Span 0 for 2. He has grounded out, flied out. In the air, left field near the line, slicing into the seats.
So when I'm looking at the last 3 starts, including this one, for Josh Tomlin, he gave up 4 runs 2 starts ago in Tampa in his 6 innings, all earned. He gave up 6 runs in Toronto in 6 innings in his last start. So it's 14 runs in his last 3 starts. Right now he's trying to finish the 5th. Get out of here right now with just 4.
Span rips it just foul. That's the second time in this inning the Twins have hit a ball right down the first baseline and just foul.
Boy, we keep that camera on, don't we? Yeah, you're right. Both of them about in the same spot.
Runner at third with 2 down for Minnesota here in the 5th. They lead it now 4-2. Santana has to go through his legs, and the Twins steal another run. 5-2 Minnesota.
Well, that's a gift run there. Second wild pitch of the night for Tomlin. He came in and he didn't have one all year long. There's the curveball. It's the second time. I believe the other one was a curveball as well. Got it down into the dirt, gets by Santana, in comes Butera. So they have 3 on the board.
3 home here in the 5th. And those first 3 hitters that reached via hits, the double, and then the back-to-back bunt singles, they all come around to score. Revere, who made it 4 straight hits to open the inning, was erased on a double play. And now Denard Span with a 2-2 count. Fouled back out of play. Two-two pitch, missed inside, full count. And Tomlin's payoff pitch is fouled back. It's a pretty good battle here. Span has made him throw a lot of pitches. Tomlin's up to 70 in the game now. When this inning began, Josh had retired the side in order 3 out of the first 4 innings. But he fell behind Luke Hughes 2-0. He doubled the left And the Twins jumped on him right after that.
Yeah, little ball took over.
Weekly hit toward left. Brantley makes the catch. The inning is over, but Minnesota has taken the lead in this game 5-2. Now back here, 5-2 Minnesota now, bottom of the fifth inning. Tribe will send Jack Hanahan to the plate to get us started. And it's up high, ball one. Hanahan flied to left his first time up. Scott Baker has retired 6 Indians in a row after Brantley and Cabrera had back-to-back hits to open the third inning. Long drive deep to center, but it's run down by Span, one away. Our game recap brought to you by your Northern Ohio Toyota dealers as Dribble Cabrera's 2-run homer in the first gave the Indians a 2-0 lead, but a 2-out 2-run single by Matt Tolbert in the second tied it. And then Drew Butera with a little RBI bunt single gave the Twins the lead, and they're now up 5-2. Find out about more than 30 Toyota offers available now at buyatoyota.com. Michael Brantley has doubled and singled tonight. And back-to-back strikes on Brantley.
Well, Michael got a couple of fastballs in his first two at-bat. Baker just didn't get him in enough. Well, this time he's starting him in off the plate, and it's got a little comeback to it.
Fouled back out of play.
Well, this is where you'd like to come back as the Indians and strike right back. After the Twins put 3 on the board, they did that to the Indians back in the second. Just for this offense, because you've got the part of the lineup that has done it for them tonight.
Michael Brantley with a high fly ball. Deep right center field. Span and Revere back. Out of room. It's out of here. Michael Brantley is 3 for 3. His 5th home run of the year. Cuts the Twins lead to 5-3.
Michael must have been listening. I'll tell you what, he put a charge in that ball. This is going to be our McDonald's. I'm loving it. He was down on the count 0-2, and they wanted it inside. Look at the location. Look at Baker.
I was just going to say, look at his
he
reaction.
Wants to hit well, that's the third time he left a fastball out for him, and every time Brantley's hurt him. For Michael Brantley, his 5th home run, and then it's a nice job. They come right back and put one on the board in a hurry.
And Asdrubal Cabrera takes a strike. Like Brantley, Cabrera perfect on the night. 2-run homer in the first. He singled in the third. And a bouncing ball to second. Tolbert throws him out 2 down.
Well, the school year winds down. I think school will be out officially sometime this week, and it's time to head down to Progressive Field and enjoy an Indians game with family and friends. There are prices and plans for every fan, so create your memories starting at just $8. Get your tickets at Indians.com.
Grady Sizemore 1 out of 2 tonight. Fly to right his last time up. A little bit low. Chased after a fastball off the outside edge. 1-1 the count. Bounce to first. Kadire flips to Baker, and that'll do it. But Michael Brantley's 3rd hit of the night, a solo home run, as the Tribe down a pair after 5. It's the place to be for a chance to win Subway gift cards, Indians Fun Money, and you'll get great discounts on your next Subway purchase. Subway, where winners eat. Line to right, or excuse me, left. It's a fair ball as it goes down the line. Dug out by Brantley in the corner. Throw to second is a little bit offline. And in there safely with a leadoff double is Michael Kadire, his 2nd hit of the night.
It looks like it kicked up some chalk. Breaking ball up. And look at this. Boy, right on the line. Right at the cut of the dirt, the grass, gets down into left field. Second time Kadire has a base hit on the first pitch. 2nd double of the night.
And Justin Morneau 0 for 2. He has flied to right, and he has also bounced right back to the mound. Fouled back. Indians down 5-3 here in the 6th inning. Bullpen about to get busy for the Tribe. Morneau grounds one to second, routine for Orlando Cabrera. One away, but Kadire moves to third. Told you earlier the Indians spent their first-round pick on a high school infielder named Francisco Lindor. And let's hear more about that Indians draft choice from Director of Scouting Brad Grant. All right, thanks, Brad.
Yeah, you're not going to take a number 1 draft pick if he's just going to slap it. He's got to be athletic, and he's going to. He's only 17. He's what do they have him listed? 5'11", 170.
Yeah,
he'll get bigger.
Fly ball, shallow center. Sizemore closing fast, dives, can't make the catch, and the Twins get the run back. And into second base goes Delman Young, and with the infield in. It was Sizemore or bust because Orlando Cabrera couldn't get back there in time. If he's at normal depth, that's probably an easier play for Orlando Cabrera. But the Twins catch a break, and Delman Young gets his 14th RBI on the year.
That's the chance. When you play the infield in, that's the risk. The infielders are trying to cut that run off thinking you're going to get a ground ball. But when you hit one off the end of the bat like that and you bloop it in, there's not much as an outfielder you can do because you're staying at normal depth. So they bloop one in, they get the run right back. That'll go as a double.
6-3 Minnesota. There's Tim Belcher out talking with Josh Tomlin, who's over 75 pitches now on the night. Left-hander Rafael Perez warming. Luke Hughes, 1 for 2, has doubled and scored tonight. Twins, who came in with a 4-game winning streak for the first time this year, have gone 5 for 9 with a runner in scoring position tonight.
There you go. Hitting with runners in scoring position. A couple of those were bunts.
Hit weakly to second. Tomlin has to hustle over, and he does get there in time to take the throw from Hughes.
Well, it's a good thing that Tomlin got over there because he got over in a hurry. It goes 4-1. I mean, a squibber off the end of the bat. Laporta didn't know whether he should go for it or not. He's got to make a decision quicker than that. He has to know where his second baseman is. And by that, I mean, if the ball's hit hard enough, you either get it or you go to first base. There's no in between.
Boy, and I'll tell you what, looking at that replay, Josh Tomlin, very fortunate that the foot of Luke Hughes didn't come down right on top of his because, he's on the dead sprint trying to find the bag. His foot slid on top of first base. And had Hughes come down right on top of him, that could have been bad for both players.
Well, take a look at it. You're right. He has no time to look. You're right. He could have very easily been stepped on.
2 down for Matt Tolbert. Swing and a miss. Up and in, 2 balls and a strike. Swung on and missed. Tolbert just waves at the off-speed delivery. And it's 2-2 now. 82 pitches on the night for Josh Tomlin. 62 have been strikes. But the Twins have reached him for 6 runs. And they lead it 6-3 with a runner at third and 2 down. And he strikes out Tolbert. Santana will have to throw to first to end the inning, and he does. But Minnesota gets the run back. And we go to the bottom of the 6th. Indians down 3. Well, Manny Acta giving Josh Tomlin the sort of pat on the back that one gives to a guy who gave him his effort but didn't get the kind of results he was looking for. And he knows it's not for lack of effort from Tomlin, but he comes out of the ballgame on the short end of a 6-3 score here tonight. Carlos Santana leads off with the Tribe down 3. He is 0 for 2 on the night. Then Shin-Soo Choo and Matt Laporta.
Well, for Tomlin, out of Minnesota's 9 hits, 2 of them came on the first pitch. That's Kadire. 4 of them came on the second pitch, and 3 came on the third. So they were ready for him early. Well, and then again, you mix in those bunts as well.
Yeah.
Not that they beat him all over the ballpark.
The 1-1. Big bounce to first. Easy play for Kadire. 1 down. Let's get the answer to our AT&T trivia question. All right, I threw Brad Radke out.
All right,
there.
I got to say Blyleven and then Jim Cott.
Jim Cott's a great guess. Yeah.
You know, because, look, your kitty cat was there for a long time. And you figure Bert because he's in the house. But you were right on Brad Radke. You get those 90s guys. Attaboy. I get the fossils. You get those kids. I'll get the dinosaurs. And there he is. He is one right there. Always fun to talk to.
Going into the Hall of Fame in just a little less than a month, right?
Looking forward to it. Well, yeah, it's the end of July. Or July 20-something.
A little over a month then, yeah.
Well, he deserves it. Finally, the time is here. And believe me, he's deserved it for a lot longer than he should have been. A lot more before this year.
Now, Bert also was a tremendous competitor. I mean, I think people look at him and they've seen all the bloopers and the outtakes, and he has been a guy who keeps things light and has a lot of fun at what he does. But, man, he was a tremendous competitor when he was between the lines.
Not on game days.
No joking around at that point, huh?
No siree.
3-1 pitch. Full count. And on the 3-2, Chu with a line drive base hit. And a one-out base runner for the Indians as Matt Laporta comes to the plate. Before he does, here's Indians, former Indian and current Twins broadcaster, now Hall of Famer, Bert Blyleven. Matt Laporta pops it up on the first pitch. Center fielder Denard Span makes the grab, 2 down. That's not lip service either when you hear that from Bert Blyleven. I mean, he truly, when he comes back to Cleveland, how many people are here to look forward to see?
Everybody goes out of their way
yeah.
to come say hello to him. And that's not just here. That's every place he played.
Yeah.
I know it's like that in L.A. They won the World Series in Pittsburgh. He was big down there in Texas. He spent a lot of time. He was a good pitcher for a long time, and he's a likable guy. Yeah, you have fun. You laugh with Bert. That's the guy I gave number 28 to when he came over here. People ask me, when did you wear number 20? Well, I wore number 20 when he got traded over here from Pittsburgh. I gave him 28 because he was the fossil and he deserved it.
He does have a lot more gray hair than you do.
Yes, he does. No, he was around a lot longer than I was. He came in, I think it was 70 was his first year. 69. So, he was around. He was the veteran. He deserved it. And he's going to go into the Hall of Fame with 28, and rightfully so.
One pitch to Buck. A line drive toward right field, and Revere dropped to a knee and then made the catch. Didn't look real graceful, but he got the job done. And after 6, it's the Twins 6 and the Indians 3. At Panini's 18 locations in Northeast Ohio. Visit paninisgrill.com for a location near you. Just a beautiful night here in downtown Cleveland. Not even a cloud to be seen. But not such a good night for Josh Tomlin. He's out, and the Indians have made the Call to the bullpen brought to you by Verizon 4G LTE. Rule the air on the most advanced 4G network in the world.
That'll bring on Rafael Perez for the 7th inning. For the 26th time this year. 2-1 record. Coming up to face 9-1-2 in the Minnesota Twins lineup. Yeah, another day. 6 earned runs again. Back-to-back starts for Josh. In his 6 innings, gave up 9 hits. His last start, gave up 8 hits. But the big blow in his last start against Toronto was a 3-run homer, something he did not give up a home run tonight. It was more little ball than anything else by the Twins.
Rafael Perez to face Drew Butera. And he's up high, ball 1. Well, the Detroit Tigers have been closing fast on the Tribe. They started the night just 2.5 games behind the Indians in the Central Division. They jumped on Detroit for 3 runs, or they jumped on Texas for 3 runs in the first inning tonight down in Arlington. They lead it 3-0. They're in the second. It was Brennan Bosch with a 3-run bomb for Detroit. Bounces one up the middle. Cabrera with a backhand. Turns and throws on the money. A tremendous effort by Orlando Cabrera to retire Drew Butera for out number 1 here in the 7th inning.
Well, he put everything on that throw he could, Matt. He jumped up, and he let it fly. And he got it there in time. Nice play. Going to his right, look at it. It's not easy to do when you're running away from where you want to throw the ball. One last jump, threw it as hard as he could. There's the stretch by Laporta to retire Butera. Very nice play.
Now Ben Revere 1 for 3 on the night. Down low, ball 1. Revere twice grounded out to second baseman Orlando Cabrera. And then in the 5th, he singled to center field. There's a called strike. Evens the count. The 1-1. Taps it foul. Now Rafi comes set with the 1-2. And Revere gets a piece to stay alive. Got him looking. 2 down. Visit STOHD.com and check out one of our preferred partners, Garfield 12323. They've served Northeast Ohio for over 75 years with award-winning siding, windows, and roofing. For a free estimate, visit STOHD.com and click on the Garfield 12323 banner. Two down for Alexei Casilla, 0 for 3 tonight. Rafael Perez with a 1-0. And a big swing and a miss from Casilla. Manny Acta has said he wanted to keep this losing streak at a minimum. He said you want to stop your losing streaks at 3. You don't want to get into one of those prolonged slumps just because, you want everybody to be able to turn the page and move forward. But he said, everybody else has gone through it. We've been able to avoid the 5, 6, 7 game slump period.
One of the last teams to do it in the American League. The only one that hasn't had a 4-game losing streak is the Texas Rangers.
Yeah.
So they still have an opportunity to stop it at 4. They've got 9 outs left. Yeah, you try and minimize all that damage, and you got to get something positive, especially in this ballpark. They're on a 6-game losing streak here. 1 point this year, 14 straight, where they could do no wrong. Now, I don't know if it's baseball gods or what, but, breaks here and there, they change throughout the course of the year. They're going to have to go out there and fight a little bit harder and do things, just you make your own breaks.
Still, it's June 6th.
Right.
And the Indians are in first place in the division. I don't think many people would have thought that was even possible at the outset of this year. And Brantley grabs it in foul ground to end the inning. Minnesota goes 1-2-3. Stretch time for the Tribe. They're down 3. Time for the Cleveland Clinic. 7th inning stretch. Indians fans, time to get up. Oh, baby, the Indians could use some offense now, down 6-3.
Oh, baby is right. That has to be his first game, huh?
Well, let's make it a memorable one. Scott Baker about to make his 85th pitch of the night. 15 out of 25 first pitch strikes for the Twins right-hander.
Well, I'll tell you what, he's hung in there, hasn't he? After the first inning, the first 3 reached. And, I mean, they hit the ball all over the park in that first inning. Had an opportunity in the third, but he has settled in.
Orlando Cabrera 1 for 2 tonight. Singled in the second, lined out to right field in the fourth.
Yeah, Orlando got a 0-2 pitch out over the plate that he shot to right field back in the second.
Wants it foul. Good idea. Trying to get yourself aboard, get a rally rolling.
Well, you know what happened? He saw Hughes start peeling back behind the base.
as Baker went into his windup. So he figured, okay, you want to give it to me? I'll take a base hit. And now you're right. Good idea. You're down 3 runs. You need base runners. From 6 on down, he has the only hit tonight.
Bouncer to short. And Casilla throws him out. And that's something we talked about earlier. The 6 through 9 portion of this Indians order.
Yeah.
Just 2 for their last 36 coming in. And only 1 hit so far tonight.
Well, you don't want to miss the Indians Music Festival presented by Discount Drug Mart, starring Brad Paisley, Blake Shelton, and Jared Neiman. Saturday, it'll be right here at Progressive Field. So come early to catch the 7 additional artists. And for a limited time, get $30 seats for only $20. 216-420-HITS.
Jack Hanahan takes a first pitch strike. He's 0 for 2 tonight. It's way too early in the summer to be scoreboard watching, but Brendan Bosch has hit another home run for Detroit tonight. Tigers lead the Texas Rangers 4-0. Detroit, who the Indians will play on this upcoming road trip. Tigers have scored 16 of their last 19 runs via the home run ball.
Well, they've got some pop in that lineup. We'll get our up-close look at them next week. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday.
Got him looking. 3 pitches, and Hanahan is out number 2. 2 down here in the 7th. Top of the order for Michael Brantley, who is a perfect 3 for 3 on the night, and just a triple shy of the cycle.
Yeah, this has been his problem. You know, and in the last at-bat to Brantley, he was able to get ahead of him with that fastball that he started sort of at the hip and let it run back in. But they wanted to try and get him out there, and he left the fastball over the plate. He didn't get it in, and Michael hurt him. So 3 times he's hit fastballs. There's a breaking ball. Get me over. Strike 1.
Almost pulled the trigger, but able to lay off, and a good idea. Baker's 1-1. Grounded to third. And Hughes throws him out. The Indians go 1-2-3. And we go to the 8th. 6-3 Minnesota.
Presented by the authority of the Cleveland Indians and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Cleveland Indians.
Denard Span, Michael Kadire, Justin Morneau for the Twins here in the 8th inning. Minnesota leads at 6-3. Rafael Perez stays on for a second inning of relief work. He set him down 1-2-3 in the 7th. It's up high for ball one. Weekly tap to short, and as Dribble Cabrera flips it over, one away. Tonight's box score is brought to you by your Northern Ohio Hyundai dealers. Introducing the Hyundai Assurance Trade-In Value Guarantee. Well, as you pointed out earlier, it's not as if the Twins battered Josh Tomlin around the yard tonight.
Not at all.
But they used the little ball, and at a very opportune time in that 5th inning, they cobbled together a 3-run rally. And that's your ball game.
Well, and how many times have we talked about it, the 3-run inning, that has hurt the Tribe this year, and it hurts a lot of teams when you give up the 3-run inning, but they've been giving up many more of them recently than they did earlier in the year.
Swung on and missed from Michael Kadire, who is 2 for 3 with a single, a double, and 2 runs scored tonight.
Well, he got the 2nd inning going and also the 6th.
Rounded to 3rd. Jack Hanahan takes his time, throws him out, 2 down.
Well, whether you're spending a family night, date night, or a special occasion out at the ballpark, make your plans to attend a spectacular fireworks presentation. They're after every Friday and select Saturday home games this year. Visit Indians.com for dates and ticket information.
Two down, Justin Morneau, 0 for 3 tonight. Rafael Perez with 2 down. Delivers to Morneau, and Morneau with a liner toward right. Chu makes the grab as he goes to an E. And the Twins go 1-2-3. 2 perfect innings of relief work for Rafael Perez. 6-3 Minnesota, middle of the 8th. Well, that young man came to see the Indians snap their losing streak tonight. Yeah, Tribe had the early lead, but Minnesota came back and tied it. And they took over in the fifth, and the Indians have been trying to play catch-up ever since. They trail at 6-3 here in the eighth inning, and this has been their inning, so to speak, all season long.
Well, Baker, in the first 3 innings, he did not have a ground ball out. And in the last 4, he has had 6. So he has made the adjustment. He was trying to get ahead of a lot of the guys early upstairs. He just wasn't locating it where he wanted to get his strikeouts and things like that.
As Dribble Cabrera 2 for 3 on the night with that home run. The Indians this year have outscored their opponents in the eighth inning 30-12. The Twins have been outscored by their opponents in the eighth inning 52-25.
Yeah, well, usually you're in their bullpen.
There's a liner toward left field, and it's a base hit for Cabrera to start the eighth inning. Takes a wide turn, but Young got off a good throw to the bag. So it starts with a liner to left here in the eighth inning.
Well,
and
now
the
you got to
have that bullpen ready.
Yeah, they're ready, but you got to have somebody else do something. Between Brantley and Cabrera, they have 6 of the 9 hits. There's a little breaking ball down and away that Asdrubal stayed on nicely. Hits it the other way. So now there's your start.
Grady Sizemore 1 out of 3 tonight. And it's ball 1 from Baker.
You know, Baker this year, his longest outing on the season was an 8-inning outing against the Boston Red Sox back on May 6th, where he gave up a couple of runs.
He's about to make his 100th pitch of the night. And Grady had a big cut, but comes up with a foul tip, and it's 1-1. Lefty righty loosening for Minnesota. Here it's 1-1 to Grady. He lays off and it's down low. The Indians need a base runner to get that tying run to the plate now, as Cabrera takes his lead at first. Chase the high heater, and the Indians have been doing that a lot here tonight.
See, he gets that heater up because he's getting his breaking stuff over earlier in the count. So what he can do, he can elevate it above the belt. And, you know, he only throws 91 right around there. And it's enough, though, to get it by you.
Two. Hit him.
Ouch.
That's taking one for the team.
Well, he didn't try to, that's for sure. He's got 2 strikes on Grady. He was trying to throw it inside, and he didn't want to miss out over the plate like he did before. So he drills him, and you'll take that as the Indians because that brings a tying run to the plate, and that's going to bring Ron Gardenhire out of the Twins' dugout, and he's going to make a move. He's going to go to the left-hander. Look at it. He's trying to go inside, and Grady just had no chance. Right in the thigh. Meat part of the leg, that's okay. He'll take the base. I say it's okay. It's his leg.
Ron Gardenhire will call for left-hander Jose Majares. Scott Baker out after 7 innings and 2 batters. We'll be right back. All right, so the Indians have 2 on, nobody out. Tying run to the plate will be Carlos Santana. He'll be facing the left-hander Jose Majares on for the 22nd time this year.
Majares spent some time on the disabled list, it seems like, just like every Twin has. He was on for the last couple of weeks of May. The left-hander coming out, one of the few veterans that Ron Gardenhire has there. Not a bad game by Scott Baker in his 7 innings. Plus 2 batters in this inning. Gave up 9 hits. 3 of those to the first 3 hitters of the game. He ended up striking out 5.
Santana lays off. It's outside for ball 1.
The Indians have scored all their runs today via the home run.
2-run blast by Asdrubal Cabrera in the first. Solo homer by Michael Brantley in the 5th. Santana taking it inside. And now he's in a good spot, 2-0. But now, even more so than when the at-bat began, patience is the key for Santana. So many times this year, pitchers have been able to bait him into getting him to go out of his strike zone. Like that right there, 2-1.
Well, this is the Minnesota bullpen that is, see, he's looking back. He wants to know if it was a ball or a strike. He's only thrown 2 pitches. That is not a pitch you want to swing at when you have the count in your favor. Now, if you have 2 strikes, it's a different story. You may have to get after it, but that's not a pitch he can hit out of the ballpark. And that's the pitch you want to look for when you're 2-0, is one you can, I mean, that's when you get selective as a hitter.
Chop to third. And it's a fair ball, and they'll throw him out at
foul
first.
Ball.
Oh, I thought he called it fair.
Well, the home plate umpire called it foul, and
okay,
I think
you're
it
right.
was his.
You're right. The third base umpire signaled fair, and that's why Ron Gardenhire's coming out. But it is the home plate umpire's decision.
Watch this. It's before the base. And now, before the base, it's the home plate umpire's call. Wow. They catch a break.
You think so?
I do. I think that ball was over the bag.
Now, the third base umpire signals fair, but he's really blocked out.
He's behind. That's why the home plate umpire has the call until it gets past the base. He knows he's not going to win that argument, but he wanted to talk to Gary Cederstrom anyway. He had a better look. I mean, I look right there, and it looked like it might have been right on the corner of the base. Well, whatever he said must have been funny. So that's a break for that. Would have been a double play ball, without a question.
Runners were going, and the pitch is fouled out of play. Hits are even at 9 apiece. But the Indians trail it 6-3. Nobody out here. Last of the 8th. Now the 2-2. Little bit low, full count. And the payoff pitch. And a ground ball by Majares. Casilla will step on the bag, throw to first, and a double play. Cabrera goes to third, 2 down. Carlos Santana's frustrations continue. He's 0 for 4 now, and he's hit into a pair of double plays tonight.
Well, it's right at the shortstop. He doesn't even want to flip it. And the strong throw, it's an easy double play. Cabrera goes to third.
Shin-Soo Choo, 1 for 3 tonight. Good breaking ball in for a strike, 0-2 the count. Almost hit him. Maharis comes set on the 1-2 pitch to Chu. And a one-hopper, it eats up Kadire. Chu racing down the line. He beats him to the bag, and the Indians get a run. Cabrera scores on the play at 6-4. Maharis did his best to get over to the bag to try and beat Chu. It was a very close play. Maharis continues the argument with first base umpire Adrian Johnson. And now Ron Gardenhire's coming out probably to make another pitching move.
Well, normally a pitcher they won't argue unless they felt that their foot was on the base. Most of the time, that ball was hit hard and it eats up Kadire. He jumps on it. I give Maharis credit. He got over there. He got the foot on the bag. Boy. And I'll tell you what, the Indians catch a break. Looks like his foot was there to me. There it is. Chus comes down. That inning should be over, and that's it for Maharis. Error on the first baseman, no hit. Okay, they gave that an error.
Timeout, 6-4 Twins. (6-4) Minnesota. The Indians will bring the tying run to the plate. Before we get to that, here's our Miller Taste Greatness moment. Last year on August the 6th, Matt Laporta with a walk-off home run to beat the Minnesota Twins. If I remember right, he told us afterwards it was the first one he ever had.
Right, that's exactly right. Ever, anywhere.
Well, he's got a chance to help the Tribe right here. They're down 6-4 in the 8th. Alex Burnett coming on for the 21st time this year, and Laporta is the tying run at the plate.
He was recalled from AAA Rochester on the 29th of April.
And a breaking ball for a strike.
A rookie last year appeared in 41 games for the Twins.
Burnett with the 0-1 to Laporta, and it's outside. Chu, the runner at first, with 2 down. Held there by Kadire. And it's fouled right back. Laporta down on the count now, 1-2. Chu takes off, and Laporta fouls it back. Chu runs again. Laporta fouls it again. And out to the mound goes Drew Butera to talk to right-hander Alex Burnett.
Obviously talking to him about Chu taking off on the last 2 pitches. You have 2 strikes on the hitter. And, of course, your main concern is going to be the hitter. Just to make him aware.
Laporta trying to improve on his late inning numbers.
That's what I'm talking about. See, he's holding the ball. Now the base runners want to take off, and that's exactly what Butera went out to talk about. Hey, look, you don't have to throw to first base, but just don't come set and come to the plate like you did the last 2 times. Just hold it one time and make them wait. Base stealers hate to wait.
Chu takes off, and on the 1-2, Laporta for the 3rd time fouls it away.
He's getting his sprints in, and Laporta's in a protect mode with 2 strikes. If they really feel he's going to take off and continue to run, they could throw a pitch out. Butera's got a good gun. He's got a good arm.
Chu holds this time, bounced it in front of the plate. Butera blocked it. It skips away, and down to second goes Chu.
So the wild pitch. That looked like a little breaking ball that he hung on to and spiked it into the ground.
This will be the 8th pitch of the at-bat for Alex Burnett. Matt Laporta, who's had a tough night with 2 strikeouts and a weak fly ball to center, but a chance to make up for all that right here. And the 2-2 swung on and missed. He struck him out with a breaking ball, and the inning is over. Tribe gets a run closer, 6-4 Twins as we go to the 9th. Well, the Indians are down 6-4 now as we go to the 9th inning. And the Indians will go to Chad Durbin after Rafael Perez worked 2 perfect innings of relief.
Well, Chad trying to keep it right where it's at. 6-4 Minnesota lead entering the 9th. He's got Young, Hughes, Tolbert, the scheduled hitters for the Twins.
Delman Young, who came into this game limping offensively, has gone 2 for 3, and he had a key, albeit a little bloop, RBI double in the 6th inning. But boy, how big, every run is big when you're coming from behind.
That's right after the Indians came back and Brantley hit the solo home run, and then they took it right away the very next inning. So twice tonight, after the Indians scored, the Twins came right back.
Drives this one deep to right. Back is Chu. Pulls it down, 1 away. Coming up on STO after the ball game tonight, it's Chuck's last call. And then tomorrow, all bets are off with Bruce Drennan at 3, Minor League Magazine at 6. Then it's Indians on deck, followed by the Tribe and the Twins right here on STO. And tomorrow night, take a look at the matchup. It'll be Carlos Carrasco against Francisco Liriano, who will be coming off the DL to make the start for Minnesota. There is Carlos, who will make the start tomorrow for the Tribe. Strike on the outside edge to Luke Hughes, 1 for 3 on the night. Yanked to third, backhanded nicely by Hanahan. From the line, he throws and not in time. Hughes able to just barely beat it out. Fine effort from Hanahan.
Yes, it was. Yes, it was. He got down and got up as quickly as he could. He spins inside to get something on that throw, the long throw across, and he does just beat it out. Good play by Jack.
Matt Tolbert, couple of hits on the night. Another toss to first. A little bit outside with it. Chad really paying close attention to Luke Hughes.
Well, he feels, you're at this part of the lineup, 1 out. They may try and get himself into scoring position and add another run.
That was very close. Ball, Laporta's glove, Hughes all arriving at the same point at about the same time. Thought he was going to go Ken Herbeck and pull his leg off the bag. Pitches outside. Runner goes. Got him if he gets the tag down, and he does.
What a great play by Cabrera.
It really was.
I mean, a short hop throw by Santana, and that's not an easy play with a guy bearing down on you at second base. He picks it and picks it cleanly, but applies the tag. Beautiful play to get the runner stealing. Right there, had a good pitch to throw, but watch the short hop. His glove's got to go up, but he's able to bring it right back down, and he knows there's going to be some contact made.
Talked about the struggles the Indians 6 through 9 hitters have had lately. The Minnesota bottom part of their lineup has done most of the damage tonight, going 7 for 15. Last chance for the Tribe coming up, folks. They trail at 6-4. Minnesota on top. Ninth inning, Matt Capps.
He's making some faces right there. That's beautiful.
That's his hitting face right there.
I'll tell you. He didn't even see himself on camera. He knows someone's sticking something in his face. There he is. Look up there. Say hi to Mom. Yeah, he wants to see a little rally. He's staying up late. They need 2 to tie and 3 to win. They're going to have to do it against the closer, Matt Capps.
All right, here we go. Travis Buck, Orlando Cabrera, Jack Hanahan due for the Indians here in the bottom of the ninth. Buck 0 for 3. In his 0 for 3, though, twice he has hit the ball right on the button. He had a line drive to first that was caught by Kadire his first time up. And then his last time up in the 6th, he blistered a ball to right field that Revere caught while going to a knee. It's up high again, 2 balls, no strikes. Now, Matt Capps is the closer because Joe Nathan is on the DL, and even when Nathan was healthy, he wasn't the old Joe Nathan yet.
No, they started out the year trying to close him a little bit, but it just never worked out coming back from the surgery. He's on the disabled list now, and Capps, a guy that they had last year, and did some closing for him, just filled in. Nathan was a guy that says, hey, get me out of this role. I'm not ready to do it.
Outside again, 3 balls, no strikes, with Orlando Cabrera to follow. Up high, ball 4. Walked him on 4 straight. And the Indians get the leadoff man aboard here in the bottom of the ninth. Tying run comes to the plate.
You look at it, that is the very first walk of the ball game right there.
That's a good point because both starters tonight were going right at hitters.
Boy, and of all times to do it, you don't want the leadoff man in the ninth inning if you're Ron Gardenhire, your closer, walking the leadoff man, but there you have it.
Orlando Cabrera 1 for 3. And takes a strike.
Yeah, had to take a strike.
Cabrera turns on it, bangs it foul toward the end of the Tribe dugout. And he's in the hole 0-2, and he might have cracked his bat.
Yeah, he ran that one right in on the thumbs. He sure did. Started him off with a good breaking ball away and then comes right back inside. He was looking for that ground ball is what he was trying to get. See the two-seamer coming in? Not much he could do with that one except hit the top part of the ball, which he did.
Good time to get his first career hit against Matt Capps for Orlando Cabrera. Twins outfield, no doubles defense. Straight away and way deep. Time called before the pitch. Jack Hanahan waits on deck. Orlando Cabrera, the tying run at the plate here in the bottom of the ninth. Indians down 6-4. And Cabrera again fights it off, staying alive.
You talk about quick reactions by Butera. This ball comes straight back at you, hits the padding, and turns around. Look at it jump. And there it is. That's quick.
Capps with the two-strike pitch. Got him looking. One down here in the bottom of the ninth.
Well, fastball, and he must have been looking breaking ball. Right here with two strikes, he throws a fastball. Caught him looking. And no tricks there.
We're going to get a pinch hitter. Looks like Shelley Duncan. It is.
Yes, it is.
Tribe's best pinch hitter will come up here in the clutch in the ninth inning. Duncan, 4 for 6 on the year with 7 runs batted in as a pinch hitter. Duncan versus Capps with the game on the line here in the bottom of the ninth. And a swing and a miss. A good fastball from Capps. Now the 0-1. A little bit low.
Boy, not by much, was it? That's a pretty good pitch. A little two-seamer. Look at it. It'll sink a little bit. It's a tough pitch to hit if you're a hitter. But, boy, that's a good pitch if you're a pitcher.
The 1-1 pitch. Low, 2 balls and a strike. Duncan has been very productive and very clutch. Manny Acta trying to tap into that magic once again here in the ninth. Duncan with a ground ball to third. Hughes gets one at second. They turn a double play and end the ball game. The Indians led this game 2-0 after 1 inning, but Minnesota came back to tie it in the second. They took the lead for good in the fifth, and they hang on to win it by a final score of 6-4. Twins have now won 5 in a row. Their longest win streak of the season gets them to 22-37. The Indians have now dropped a season-high 5 straight. They fall to 33 and 25 on the year. The winning pitcher, Scott Baker, he is now 3 and 4. The loser is Josh Tomlin. He drops to 7 and 3. And the save goes to Matt Capps. He picks up his 8th save on the year. Time now for the KeyBank Key Play of the Game. Thanks for making KeyBank the #1 bank in Northeast Ohio.
Well, we said they're going to play a little ball, and there's one to get him over. Not only did he get him over, but he got a base hit. Laporta came off the bag there, and now you're going to see the safety squeeze. Not much they could do. Laporta spikes it into the ground, and that ended up having a big inning. A couple of back-to-back bunts. They put 3 on the board back in the 5th inning, and that was the difference in the ball game. That's going to be our KeyBank key play of the game.